Have you ever noticed how some women fall deeply in love with men who are not necessarily wealthy? There is something beyond money that attracts them in an irresistible way. In fact, recent studies reveal that certain masculine traits are valued much more than a bank account. And no, we're not talking about physical appearance. These are personality traits that any man can develop, regardless of his financial status. Today, I will reveal 3 of these powerful characteristics that make women feel naturally attracted to and secure in a relationship. These are such fundamental elements that, once understood and applied, can completely transform your love life. Get ready to discover what truly wins a woman's heart. Self-confidence emerges as a transformative element in the life of any man. It is not about an artificial pose or exhibitionism, but about a genuine inner security that comes from deep self-knowledge. When a man truly understands his worth, essence, and potential, he exudes a completely different energy that fascinates women. This security does not mean arrogance or pride. On the contrary, it represents a balanced combination of humility, self-awareness, and inner peace. A woman quickly perceives the difference between a man who pretends to be confident and one who genuinely possesses it. Research reveals that authentic self-confidence acts as a true emotional magnet. It communicates maturity, stability, and the ability to face challenges. Imagine a common scenario. On a date, when a man maintains eye contact, expresses opinions clearly, and acts without hesitation, he naturally sparks interest. True self-confidence manifests in small gestures, in how he listens, how he responds to criticism, and how he handles moments of pressure. It doesn't mean being perfect, but rather being comfortable with one's Have you ever noticed how some women fall deeply in love with men who are not necessarily wealthy? There is something beyond money that attracts them in an irresistible way. In fact, recent studies reveal that certain masculine traits are valued much more than a bank account. And no, we're not talking about physical appearance. These are personality traits that any man can develop, regardless of his financial status. Today, I will reveal 3 of these powerful characteristics that make women feel naturally attracted to and secure in a relationship. These are such fundamental elements that, once understood and applied, can completely transform your love life. Get ready to discover what truly wins a woman's heart. Self-confidence emerges as a transformative element in the life of any man. It is not about an artificial pose or exhibitionism, but about a genuine inner security that comes from deep self-knowledge. When a man truly understands his worth, essence, and potential, he exudes a completely different energy that fascinates women. This security does not mean arrogance or pride. On the contrary, it represents a balanced combination of humility, self-awareness, and inner peace. A woman quickly perceives the difference between a man who pretends to be confident and one who genuinely possesses it. Research reveals that authentic self-confidence acts as a true emotional magnet. It communicates maturity, stability, and the ability to face challenges. Imagine a common scenario. On a date, when a man maintains eye contact, expresses opinions clearly, and acts without hesitation, he naturally sparks interest. True self-confidence manifests in small gestures, in how he listens, how he responds to criticism, and how he handles moments of pressure. It doesn't mean being perfect, but rather being comfortable with one's imperfections. A secure man admits his mistakes, learns continuously, and doesn't need to prove anything to anyone. Developing this characteristic requires internal work. It means investing in personal growth, seeking knowledge, expanding horizons, and, above all, cultivating a healthy relationship with oneself. It is not about appearing confident, but about being genuinely secure. Women are naturally attracted to men who exude this internal security. They recognize that a self-confident partner offers emotional stability, the ability to protect and support without relying on external displays of power or wealth. It is important to emphasize that self-confidence does not emerge overnight. It is a process of self-discovery, facing fears, overcoming limitations, and recognizing one's intrinsic worth. Every small victory, every challenge overcome, every moment of personal growth contributes to building this inner security that fascinates and attracts. The protective attitude emerges as a fundamental element in relationship dynamics, transcending the simplistic idea of physical protection. It is about a deep disposition for care, attention, and emotional security that truly touches a woman's heart. Being protective does not mean being controlling or possessive, but demonstrating a genuine concern for the partner's well-being. This protection manifests in subtle and meaningful gestures, such as being present during vulnerable moments, offering emotional support during challenges, and creating a welcoming and trusting environment. A woman deeply values a man who makes her feel safe, not only physically, but in her emotional essence. This means being available to listen without judgment, validating her feelings, and creating a space where she can be completely authentic. Emotional protection reveals itself in small details, in a comforting hug after a tough day, in the ability to calm her during stressful moments, and in the willingness to defend her dreams and aspirations. It is not about solving all problems, but showing that she is not alone in her battles. Psychological studies prove that men who develop this genuine protective attitude can establish deeper and more lasting bonds. The sense of security promotes intimacy, trust, and a truly transformative connection. This protection also means respecting her boundaries, recognizing her independence and strength. A truly protective man does not diminish her, but empowers her. He celebrates her achievements, encourages her personal and professional growth, and is present not as a savior, but as a partner. The protective attitude surpasses any material demonstration of love. It does not depend on expensive gifts or grand gestures, but on emotional consistency, the ability to be present in moments that truly matter. Building this characteristic requires sensitivity, self-awareness, and a genuine commitment to the well-being of the other. It means developing emotional intelligence that allows understanding the partner's needs beyond the obvious, anticipating fears, and offering true support. Men who cultivate this authentic protective attitude awaken not only attraction, but a deep sense of connection and security that transcends any financial or social barriers. Effective communication represents one of the most powerful elements in building truly meaningful relationships. It is not just about talking, but about creating deep connections through the art of communicating with authenticity and sensitivity. Knowing how to listen emerges as a precious and often neglected skill. Active listening means going beyond words, understanding the emotions and nuances behind each speech. A woman deeply values a man capable of being genuinely present during conversations without judgments or interruptions. Nonverbal communication plays an equally crucial role. Gestures, facial expressions, and body language communicate much more than words. A welcoming look, a timely hand touch, a sincere smile can convey levels of emotional connection that no speech could achieve. Specific techniques can significantly enhance communication. Reflective listening, for example, involves repeating or summarizing what has been said, demonstrating full understanding and genuine interest. When a man manages to validate his partner's feelings through this technique, he establishes an astonishing channel of trust and intimacy. Communicating effectively also means being honest, direct, and vulnerable. Men who can express their emotions without fear of appearing weak carve out a special space in a woman's heart. It is not about pouring out all feelings at once, but about sharing them in a balanced and respectful manner. Effective communication requires practice and self-awareness. It means being willing to learn, recognizing communication failures, and constantly seeking improvement. It represents a journey of self-knowledge where every conversation becomes an opportunity for growth. Women are naturally attracted to men who master the art of genuine communication. A partner who knows how to listen, express himself clearly and sensitively, creating an environment of emotional safety, becomes infinitely more appealing than someone who relies only on financial resources. Genuine communication transcends words. It manifests itself in respect, empathy, and the ability to create moments of deep connection where both feel completely understood and valued. Emotional sensitivity represents a transformative trait that completely revolutionizes the masculine perception in relationships. Far from being synonymous with weakness, this characteristic symbolizes an incredible strength of connection and emotional intimacy. A truly sensitive man can transcend traditional barriers of masculinity, allowing himself to experience and deeply recognize his own emotions. This ability for emotional self-knowledge makes him infinitely more attractive, as it demonstrates maturity and psychological depth. Women are naturally attracted to partners who can understand their own feelings and simultaneously validate feminine feelings without judgment. Sensitivity emerges as a powerful communication channel that goes far beyond words, creating a nearly telepathic connection between partners. This sensitivity manifests in subtle moments, in the ability to perceive the partner's emotional state with just a glance, in the skill of offering comfort without needing to solve all problems, and in the deep respect for the other's emotional states. Men who develop this characteristic establish tremendously deep emotional bonds. They understand that showing vulnerability does not weaken them, but humanizes them. They are able to cry when necessary, express fears, share insecurities without fear of being seen as less masculine. During conflict situations, emotional sensitivity becomes a precious tool. A sensitive man can listen attentively, understand the emotional context behind his partner's words, and respond with genuine empathy rather than trying to impose his perspective or minimize her feelings. Psychological research confirms that partners with high emotional intelligence maintain more stable and lasting relationships. The ability to recognize, process, and express emotions in a healthy way creates an environment of trust and emotional safety. Developing emotional sensitivity represents a journey of self-knowledge. It requires the courage to break toxic traditional masculinity patterns, the willingness for therapy, self-care practices, and a genuine commitment to personal growth. Sensitivity does not diminish masculinity. On the contrary, it enhances it. It transforms an ordinary man into an extraordinary partner, capable of truly connecting and offering a type of love that transcends any material or superficial barrier. Control and patience represent fundamental characteristics that elevate a man from a simple partner to a truly mature and desirable companion. Contrary to popular belief, emotional control does not mean suppressing feelings, but processing them intelligently and balanced. A man who masters his emotional intelligence can remain calm in stressful situations without losing reasoning and balance. This does not mean being an immovable stone, but rather reacting with intelligence and serenity in response to provocations or challenging moments. Patience emerges as an extraordinary trait that demonstrates self-mastery and emotional depth. It manifests in the ability to listen without interrupting, to wait for the right moment to react, and to understand that every process has its own timing and rhythm. In relationship dynamics, a patient man can create a safe environment. He does not pressure, demand, or impulsively make claims. On the contrary, he provides space for his partner to feel comfortable, respected in her individual processes. Emotional control proves especially powerful during conflicts. A man who can take a deep breath, analyze the situation, and respond assertively, without explosions of anger or aggression, demonstrates a maturity that fascinates. This characteristic is not something that is born ready, but develops through conscious practices of self-knowledge. It means investing in therapy, meditation, readings that expand emotional understanding, breathing techniques, and stress management. Patience also manifests in the ability to support the partner's dreams, even when the process seems slow or challenging. It represents being by her side, offering unconditional support without judgments or demands. Research shows that men with high emotional control tend to build more stable and lasting relationships. The ability to process emotions without letting them completely control actions is an impressive differentiator. Developing control and patience does not mean being passive, but being strategic. It is understanding that not every battle needs to be fought, that not every provocation deserves an immediate response, and that true strength lies in the ability to wisely choose when and how to react. Women are deeply attracted to partners who demonstrate this emotional maturity. A man who masters his emotions, acts with wisdom and calmness, becomes infinitely more interesting than someone who relies on momentary impulses or external displays of power. Respect and equality represent fundamental pillars for building deep and meaningful relationships. When we speak of true respect, we are not referring to a superficial concept, but to a genuine connection that values the individuality and autonomy of each person. Equality in relationships means creating an environment where both partners feel completely valued, heard, and recognized for their uniqueness. It is not a competition, but a partnership where each contributes their unique strengths and potentials. Sharing responsibilities does not merely represent a distribution of household tasks, but symbolizes a mutual commitment to joint growth. It means being side by side in challenges, celebrating individual and collective victories, and recognizing that each plays a fundamental role in building a shared history. Respecting the partner's opinion goes far beyond simply agreeing. It represents being genuinely interested in her thoughts, dreams, and perspectives. A man who truly respects his companion creates a safe space where she can express herself freely, without fear of judgment or retribution. Real stories demonstrate the transformative impact of this relationship model. Couples who cultivate respect and equality experience deeper levels of intimacy, trust, and complicity. They are partnerships where both feel empowered to be authentic, vulnerable, and completely accepted. Equality also means deconstructing traditional patterns of male domination. It is not about diminishing the man, but elevating the woman to her place of prominence. It is understanding that healthy relationships arise from balance, genuine exchange, and mutual recognition. Men who embody this philosophy demonstrate impressive emotional maturity. They understand that their strength does not lie in domination, but in the ability to create environments of mutual growth. They are partners who celebrate independence, encourage dreams, and build bonds based on absolute respect. The journey to develop respect and equality is constant and requires self-awareness. It means being willing to unlearn toxic patterns, listen attentively, validate feelings, and create spaces for open and honest dialogue. Women are naturally attracted to men capable of establishing this deep connection. A partner who truly respects his companion becomes infinitely more interesting than someone who relies solely on material resources or external displays of power. Humor and joy emerge as truly magical elements in relationship dynamics. Far from being just a tool for entertainment, a sense of humor represents a sophisticated emotional skill that connects people deeply and authentically. Laughing together creates instant intimacy, breaks barriers, and relieves emotional tension. A man capable of provoking moments of lightness and fun becomes extremely attractive, as he demonstrates emotional intelligence and the ability to turn challenging situations into opportunities for connection. The true art of humor does not lie in ready-made jokes or forced performances, but in the ability to find grace in everyday life. It means being able to laugh at oneself, to acknowledge one's own imperfections with naturalness and lightness. This vulnerability wins a woman's heart as it reveals authenticity and inner security. Developing a healthy sense of humor requires practice and sensitivity. It is not about making jokes all the time, but about perceiving the appropriate contexts, respecting boundaries, and understanding that laughter needs to be constructed with intelligence and empathy. The spontaneity of humor manifests in simple gestures, a playful joke, a relaxed comment that brightens